Lovely and warm welcome to Hope Channel Zambia. This is now time for the news. Headlines in the news today: Uni World paper industry reopened after 5 months closure for not adhering to labor laws. Chisoko market inferno victims assured of government support. Lack of accommodation paralyzes veterinary services in Kalomo district of Southern Province. Unavailability of medical supplies in health facilities are described as a great concern by the Minister of Health. I'll be back with the details after this.
My wife, bumper harvest. Eh?
Daddy,
I'm telling you.
your new fertilizer. Niamini.
Eh?
Iye daddy
Tell you.
Hello. My instructions. Ya kunkabuno bwino mwamene.
I went to ETG, and now we are enjoying the benefits of using a blended D-compound fertilizer as basil and Kynoplus as top-dressing fertilizer instead of urea that we used last year. Now look here. This year, it has given me 4 tons. 4 tons. But last year, it was only 1.8 tons. Kynoplus has given all my crops the nitrogen that I paid for. Wow. It has saved me money. Telling you.
Understanding the difference between soil and crop-specific fertilizers, therein lies strength for Kynoplus blended fertilizers. More value in a bag. Available in the ETG depots countrywide, with a network providing agronomy services to farmers across the country. Kynoplus. Enhanced efficiency through innovation. A product of ETG.
We're glad that you could join us for the news. I'm Bright Sinkozi with the details, and Sharon Akfuna is on sign language. Government has reopened Uni World Paper Industry Limited after being closed for 5 months for failing to comply with labor laws and environmental regulations. Speaking after touring the company's plant, Lusaka Province Minister Shao Muriata has temporarily reopened the company to allow them begin operations while the Zambia Environmental Management Agency, ZEMA, will conduct tests on the machinery. Mrs. Muriata said government does not aim at punishing people, but that the primary aim is to help those who do not comply with the law to do so. She said investors should comply with the rules of the land and not take advantage of Zambian employees. Mrs. Muriata was in the company of officials from the Ministry of Labor and ZEMA. And Assistant Labor Commissioner Ellen Moyo said the company is now meeting the standards of the labor laws. But ZEMA Acting Director for Operations, Christopher Kanema, said the agency will conduct several tests on the machines, water and emissions that affect the community before the company can be allowed to operate at a full capacity. He said ZEMA will not allow any company to operate fully without meeting regulations and laws enshrined in the Agencies Act. Meanwhile, Uni World Paper Industry Limited Director Dong Tao has confessed that he has learned lessons from this experience, as it has taught him to comply with the laws. Mr. Tao says everything has been put in place that he was ordered to do. In April this year, the Ministry of Labor and Social Security shut down operations at Uni World Paper Industry Limited for exposing employees to hazardous working environment. Esnat Sikazwe has more in this report.
Assembled and packed neatly under this shelter, while others are in an open space. Some may call this waste, but for this company, it is making money out of these waste materials. This is Uni World Paper Industry Limited that manufactures paper and tissues in Gwere area. This company has not been operating for some time now due to environmental compliance matters, namely contaminated water, emissions and bad odor that is affecting the community here. This company is also not meeting some of the labor laws. This development attracted closure of the company by government. Today, Lusaka Minister Shumliata, together with officers from the Ministry of Labor and Zambia Environmental Management Agency ZEMA, have come to appreciate the works that management of this company has done. The minister is happy with the works done here and has announced the reopening of the company.
Immediately we see that there's no fumes in the air, there's no odor in the area, then you are good to go. For now, you can start functioning. Okay? Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. But we are coming back. Any error, any mistake,
Come.
we close you again. As soon as you can, bring in your workers.
Okay.
I'm more concerned about them.
Okay.
You are able to eat 3 meals. Perhaps them they are not. Huh?
Ms. Mliata says government will not allow investors to operate without following the law.
We don't want to risk the lives of our people. You see, through fumes, through dust, through water poisoning, it's a gradual sickness that takes place in a human body. It may be not now, but it may come after some time. And a lot of people can sue you. So we are also interested in the well-being of our people.
And Assistant Labor Commissioner Ellen Moyo says investors should learn to employ qualified human resource officers.
Issues of overtime, the day of rest, and the categorizing of the employees was taken care of in the contracts. So on 15th May, the Labor Commission uplifted the suspension.
But ZEMA Acting Director Operations, Christopher Kanema, says the agency will continue running some tests on the new machines that the company have purchased and installed.
With the stack that they've erected, we now need to test and see how effective these measures which they've put in place are. Now, Honorable Minister, you may wish to know that for us as ZEMA, the Environmental Management Act gives the mandate to ZEMA to ensure that the environment and human health is protected. So before we can fully lift the order, we need to test the effectiveness of the systems that they've put in place before we can. But what we now think should be done is to allow them to do test runs and ensure that the systems are tested.
Company Director Dang Tao has vowed to comply with the law.
We learn from our Zambia officers. Yeah. But just don't, because of one issue or one error, then start closing us. Just give us a chance to proceed or change it. If we don't change, if we don't follow your instructions, you can continue to close us.
This company has over 100 employees. Esnat Sikazwe, Hope News, Ngwere.
Now, Copperbelt Minister Elisha Matambo and Kitwe District Commissioner Lawrence Mwanza have assured the people that have lost property in the Chisokone market inferno of government's aid. Mr. Matambo said this when he visited the market. Goods worth millions of kwaches were gutted as fire swept through the Kurio section of Chisokone market in Kitwe on Tuesday night. The fire, which is suspected to have been caused by an electrical fault, started from a phone accessory shop, spread to the Kurio sector, affecting a few more shops from the Kurio section. Kitwe City Council Fire Brigade reached the scene later as they were attending to another fire accident in Chimwemwe Township involving a house. And Kitwe District Chairperson for the Association of Vendors and Marketeers, AVEMA, Aston Sakala, has since appealed to government and the corporate world to help the traders who have lost property. Mr. Sakala said the over 200 traders have been affected and have nowhere to start from. And Kitwe Town Clerk Patrick Kambita said the gutted number of shops is only about 5% of the total of shops operating in Chisokone, contrary to the large numbers circulating on social media. Mr. Kambita also condemned the people that stoned the Council Fire Brigade fire engine, saying the firefighters could have put off the fire before more shops were burnt. Meanwhile, immediate former chairperson for the Chisokone Curio section, Maurice Chibesa, said he has lost everything in the inferno. Mr. Chibesa appealed to government for support in form of capital so that the affected traders can restart their businesses. In other news, the Rotary International Director Patrick Chisanga says Zambia is set to benefit economically from the 5th All-Africa Institute to be hosted in Zambia by the Rotary International from the 4th to the 10th of September 2023. Mr. Chisenga says the organization has been partnering with government to meet many needs of people and will continue to engage governments across the African continent. The summit will house over 1,000 delegates from 54 African countries and around the globe. The All-Africa Institute will seek to meet the needs of underprivileged in African societies, including Zambia. Rotary International organization, whose stated human rights purpose is to bring together business and professional leaders in order to provide humanitarian services, encourage high ethical standards in all vocations, as has been one of the key partners for African governments, including Zambia, and has helped fight a lot of challenges, among them the fight against malaria for the case of Zambia.
We have 7 areas of focus, and I want you to do some research and find out what those are. But basically, they are targeted at meeting the needs of the underprivileged in our communities. A continent like Africa is always desperately in need of education facilities, education resources, scholarships, and so on, medical facilities, bridges, and so on, housing. Rotary exists to support governments across Africa in the extension and the betterment of the lives of our people. That's why we exist. And we have very warm relationships with all the African governments in which we operate, including, obviously, our own country, Zambia. And Rotary spends millions, billions of dollars. We raise money through various activities and spend it on underprivileged members of our communities. To give you an example, just last year, Rotary, with our partners, we gave to Zambia $6 million for the fight against malaria. But Rotary works with governments. Our governments, they know the challenges of each country. So we work closely with governments. We don't impose as to what the people need. We do a needs assessment, which is anchored with governments, which is the communities themselves. You mentioned water. Water is another huge. We've been doing water for years and years, sinking boreholes, even here in Lusaka. I remember.
We now head straight to Southern Province in Kalomo district, where the town council says the absence of veterinary officers in various camps across the district subjects farmers to a lot of hardships. Speaking during the full council meeting yesterday, Kalomo Town Council Chairperson Koi Makaya said the local authority has noted that veterinary officers rarely stay in their camps. Mr. Makaya adds that this makes it challenging and costly for farmers to access veterinary services when need arises. He was, however, quick to mention that the local authority engaged relevant officers over the matter and that it was established that this is due to lack of accommodation for the officers. Mr. Makaya noted that some camps in the district do not have enough or any accommodation for veterinary officers. He has since urged councillors from all wards in the district to make sure they consider addressing accommodation challenges for veterinary officers in 2024 so that there is no excuse for lack of service delivery.
We depend on livestock and indeed crop farming. And therefore, it has been actually a trend for so many years that our camp officers in the various precisely under veterinary section, that they are layering in their camps. And therefore, we have to make an engagement to understand what is the root cause of that. Because the farmers are subjected to harsh environments. In the case you are not getting sick, requiring a vet officer for advice. It's either you sponsor an officer by providing fuel, for example, and of course the data was shared with my office. A few camps do not have sufficient or even completely no accommodation. And therefore, I want to encourage you, honorable councillors, that for us to completely do away with such a situation, we need to make sure that as we get into 2024, we must consider accommodation for our vet officers, so that going forward, no one will give us an excuse.
Let's take a break. We have more stories on the other side. Do stay with us. Showtime again. That's right. And Hope Channel Zambia this time around is at the showgrounds, and we'll give you an opportunity to pass your greetings to your loved ones live from the showgrounds while you walk about and doing all your stuff at the showgrounds. Don't want you to forget about those you have left at home to see what you are doing, and of course to just show them that you love them. So come through to the Adra Zambia stand right at the showgrounds and you will find us right there. The business community, I want to tell you that for you too we have some good news, because now your stand coverage is in safe hands at only lowest amounts, lower than where you think it is low. Hope Channel Zambia will carry your services and products live from the showgrounds on Hope Channel Zambia television as well as our social platforms. Call us on the number on your screen.
Escape the winter monotony with an August pack full of variety. Discover hilarious kids content and the best of local reality shows on Top Star.
The guy likes her chicken.
have him.
For only 160 kwacha, Antenna Classic Old Dish Smart. Give your little ones the gift of joy, laughter, and learning as we welcome them back home for the holidays with delightful kids shows on Cartoon Channel, ST Kids, Jim Jam, and more. Start the month with the prize-winning local game show Bongwa Champs on Quacks, premiering on 6th August at 19 hours on Novella E+.
Where in the human body can the smallest bone be found?
Watch contestants put their intelligence, teamwork, and humor to the ultimate test. But there is more. Looking to spice up your weekends? Don't miss Hello Mr. Right Season 3, airing live on TV3 every Saturday at 20 hours. Cheer on your favorite couple and witness as they find love through a range of fun challenges, conflicting conversations, and plenty of romantic moments. Subscribe now. Top Star. Enjoy digital life.
Change your water and change your life. Kanjin Water Zambia Limited brings to you microclastic highly alkaline water with the benefits of immunosystem booster, disease combating, and many more. For more information, dial the number 0976 096670. We are located in all around the country, Zambia. Change your water and change your life. Change your water and change your Kanjin water. Kanjin water, change your life.
The Springs of Love Ministries presents the Ambassadors of Christ Choir from Kigali, Rwanda for Zambia Unite for special needy cases. Concerts as follows: 5th of August, Cobalt University Facility Hall, 300 kwacha for VIP and 100 kwacha for ordinary ticket. 6th of August, Levi Monowasa Stadium, 7th of August, Hero Stadium and Charger. In both stadiums are 500 kwacha for VIP, 100 kwacha and 50 kwacha for ordinary ticket. And 8th of August, Choma Independence Stadium, 150 kwacha for VVIP, 100 kwacha for VIP, 50 kwacha and 25 kwacha for ordinary tickets. Supporting artists will be the Golden Vocals, Davis Mlaya, Enoch Mbewe, for the Cobra Bell shows. Wow, these will be joined by the Agliang singers, Loud Cry, Ephraim, the Son of Africa at Hero Stadium, and Choma, Agliang singers, Loud Cry, Davis Mlaya, and Enoch Mbewe. You can get your tickets from all show price stores via Compete Tickets. For Choma, visit the ZNS stand or Spar.
Thank you so much for staying with us. And now for the rest of the news. The Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority, ZAMRA, has recorded 87 different types of medicines and substances manufactured by Leben Laboratories Private Limited, based in India. The recorded products include injections, tablets, cough syrups, capsules, and ointments, among others. The decision to record the medicines came after ZAMRA raised concerns over the quality, safety, and efficacy of products from Leban Laboratories. As a result, ZAMRA has suspended the marketing authorizations for all medicines manufactured by Leban Laboratories for a period of 5 years. ZAMRA Director General Makomani Sianga expressed grave concerns about the potential risks posed by the Leben Laboratories products currently on the market. In a statement, Mr. Sianga said that the quality and safety of these medicines cannot be guaranteed, as they may pose a significant health hazard to the public. ZAMRA has clarified that no product manufactured by Leben Laboratories Private Limited will be allowed in the country during the 5-year period. They have called upon all health facilities, pharmaceuticals outlets and members of the public to immediately cease the distribution, dispensing or use of any products manufactured by Lebanon. Now, the Ministry of Health has noted with concern the unavailability of medical supplies in most health care facilities in the country. Speaking when she opened a consultative meeting between the Ministry of Health and its partners, Health Minister Sylvia Masevo said the Ministry of Health has invested substantial amounts of money in the pharmaceutical supply chain following an increased allocation of funds for procurement of medicines and medical supplies in the national budget, which rose from 1.2 billion in the past to 4.6 billion kwacha in the 2023 budget. She said with the increased financing, the availability of medicines and medical supplies is expected to improve in all health facilities. The minister has, however, noted with concern the thefts of medicines and medical supplies in public health facilities, which she says are undermining the efforts government is making to provide quality health care services to all. She said theft of medicines are not only illegal, but also unethical, as they directly affect the lives of the most vulnerable members of society. We have more in this report.
The shortage of medical supply and medical care in most public health facilities has brought about worries and concerns. The Ministry of Health and its partners have today held a consultative meeting to establish causes, effects, and determine ways to curb the vice of medical theft that causes shortage in most public hospitals across the country.
And this meeting's main objective is to establish the extent to which thefts of medicines and medical supplies in the public health facilities contribute to shortages that we have in our public health facilities. Secondly, this meeting will try to explore ways to mitigate thefts of medicines and medical supplies in our public health institutions. Thirdly, the objective will be to propose interventions to mitigate the thefts. And lastly, though not the least, determine ways of monitoring and evaluating the interventional strategies.
The minister, in her speech during the consultative meeting, said the theft of medicines and medical supply is a cause of negative outcomes when patients don't get the necessary medical care, like disability, in which in worst cases causes death.
It is indeed a betrayal of our commitment by government to provide quality, cost-effective health care to all. When medicines and medical supplies are stolen from the public health facilities, it means that patients who are in dire need of adequate care and treatment of their ailments are not appropriately treated, leading to either complications, disability, or death. Stealing of medicines and medical supplies from public health facilities also frustrates the efforts of dedicated healthcare workers who work tirelessly to ensure quality services are provided to our people.
She further said that government has distributed 7,000 healthcare drug kits to all districts and health centers across the country, and the distribution of these healthcare kits shall continue after 2 months. This is to improve availability of medical supply to all drug care systems of first, second, and third level hospital.
As we currently have witnessed the arrival and distribution of health kits across the country, the distribution of these health center kits shall continue every 2 months going forward. And it is our hope that by the time we get to the phase, by the time we get to the end of the year,
going into the next year, 2024. It is our hope that at that level we should see full stabilization.
70 arrests of medicine, of which amongst them included medical practitioners who will never be allowed to practice their career ever again for depriving the patients of their right to medical attention.
Therefore, through the Joint National Task Force Against Thefts of Medicines and Medical Supplies, has in the recent past facilitated a total of 70 arrests with 35 convictions, of which unfortunately 26 of these are our own health workers.
Of Health Task Force Against Medical Theft says inadequate infrastructure system is one of the leading causes of medical theft, as some medical store facilities are not tightly secured. The task force has also disclosed that unregistered pharmacies that receive medicines that are not verified have also contributed to shortage of medicines in government facilities. Also, the task force disclosed that failure by the Ministry of Health to brand government commodities has made it easy for medical theft to take place in all government facilities. The task force has noted that lack of electronic systems to detect suspicious activities within government facilities is among other challenges leading to theft of medicines and medical supplies in public institutions. As we end the news, let's recap on stories that made headlines. Uniworld paper industry has been reopened after 5 months of not operation for failing to adhere to environmental and labor laws. Chisokone Market inferno victims have been assured of government's support. Lack of accommodation has paralyzed veterinary services in Kalomo district of Southern Province. And unavailability of medical supplies in health facilities has been described as a great concern by the Ministry of Health. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Bright Sinkozi on behalf of the entire studio and production team. Thank you so much for being with us. Sharon Akfuna has been our sign language interpreter. Until then, it's God bless and keep watching Hope Channel Zambia. Bye for now.